Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Whoa, whoa, whoa! We got a special spicy one. No, we don't. Sorry, that's for reaction videos. We got a chilled out, normal episode of the practice log here. And, you know, before I even jump into anything, what are the things that entail a practice log? Well, there are three things of equal importance that make up a practice log. What are they? The small talk. Maybe that's the least important part, actually. I got a little bit of small talk to get into today. The second thing, I'm going to answer some comment questions, and then I'm going to play some of my BS freaking classical music for you. Whoa, coming across a little hostile with that one. I've actually been making leaps and bounds with my practice, and I'm really loving the guitar right now, to be honest, especially over the past couple weeks or so. Even with my short nails, my nails are very short, though they're getting longer, and I'm getting used to them. I just feel like my playing is just really solid, and for once in my life, I just feel like, yeah, like I'm doing it. All right, cool. That being said, today I'm going to play the Prelude to 997 for you, which I kind of put that on the back burner for a little bit to work on the fugue and the Rodrigo Sonata Giacosa. Fugue's coming along. I'm going to have that whole fugue down. That'll be the next thing you hear in the next practice log, which should be soon, hopefully. But I've really been brushing up on the Prelude, and I think it's better than it's ever been. In fact, I recorded it a couple of times, and I kept having this nagging thought in my head whenever I was playing it. You know, it's like a 4-minute piece. It's really hard. But like halfway through, I would always get this sensation of like, you've come this far. Don't screw it up now, because this is going to be a really good take that you can actually put in your practice log. And every time that thought came, I would screw something up. Because, like, obviously, what a horrible thought that is, right? I'm sure that you've all experienced something like that when you're playing a piece of music and it's going just better than usual, and you're like, let's end this thing strong. And maybe even if you're recording it too, you'll get extra nervous for that kind of thing. And after a while, I just kind of like took that thought out back and I just shot it in the head. And I did a couple of takes where I truly feel like that thought was dead. And I don't ever want that thought to come alive again. Because that thought, though, I think it comes from a genuinely, like, good place. It comes from a place of concern and passion for the music. There's just no room for that in your head when you're trying to perform Bach. There's a couple of moments where I screw up, but I blow through them. I think it's a pretty good take. If my recital was full of pieces around that quality, like at least technical wise, I think I'd be happy with that. So yeah, I don't know, I think maybe just in my own private practice, I'm just gonna work on just killing that thought when it comes out. Just every time that thought comes up, I'm gonna take it behind the barn and I'm going to stick a barrel between its eyes and blow its brains out. Kill that thought. I hate that thought. So that's the small talk. Whoa, all right. And you know, let's move on to one of my favorite things to do. Because, of course, making reaction videos is fun. With how busy everything has gotten, I feel like I don't get to connect with you guys, like, as much, which I feel it's like a weird thing to say, like, I need to connect with my fans. But it is kind of true, because I feel like when I first started this thing, I talked to you guys a lot more. And I recognize a lot of you. I see a lot of your comments, a lot of recurring characters, and, you know, I appreciate all of you, and all of you who don't comment, too, who just watch. I know that for most YouTube videos that I watch, I certainly don't comment. Even from people who I have loved for years and years and I've watched all their videos, they still have never seen my username ever. In fact, I feel like I only really leave comments on videos when I'm using the Sore Hands account and I'm doing it to like be funny for anyone else who might see the comment who knows who I am. I guess my point is, it's nice to talk to you guys, and I'm gonna try to answer some of your questions, and let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? And by the way, if your question didn't get answered here, which it surely won't, because I'm gonna answer like 2 at the most, feel free to leave some comments on this video and I will pay extra attention to the comments on this video to see them all. But just know that I appreciate all of you, and that's where we're at. Oh, here's kind of a good question. So this is from Colin Imsray, friend of the channel. How's it going? Sorry. You're really funny. Hey. Come on now. I try so hard to be funny here. It's probably painful sometimes. I'd love to hear your thoughts about comedy sometime. You often joke about doing guitar pieces that dead guys created. That's a good joke. I like that one. But you're also doing new things that you created when it comes to your content and sense of humor. God, thank you for saying that. You know, it's so flippin' easy for all of you haters out there to say like reaction videos, they're so low effort. Yeah, you're right. Reaction videos, like the standard reaction video. Go look up like Polyphia reacting to Playing God reaction, and they just let the whole song play, and then they're just like, wow, that was really awesome. I can't believe he played that so well. It's just some like nothing reaction. Yes, that is very low effort. Do you think that what I do here is that? No, I'm trying to put on a show for you. And it takes me hours to film these things because most of it is just me sitting there just like, what do I say to bring this to the next level? Like, what is the joke going to be? And I'm always looking for, I call them angles in my head. What is the angle I'm coming at this with that's not just me watching a video? And you can say what you want about it. That is an art in itself. It's not a respected one, but it's one that I care about, and it's one that I've been trying to get good at. So yes, I agree. Like, generally reaction videos are low effort, but mine, I promise you, aren't. I spend so much time stressing out about filming those things because they're so high stakes in my head. So thank you. I appreciate it. I'd love to hear what your comedic influences are. Obviously, I'd love to hear your opinions on pop culture in general, but I'm sure you have to field enough of that. I don't know what that means, but I do have comedic influences. So I've been a musician for a pretty long time. I fell in love with music first with the Green Day album American Idiot, and I heard the guitar strumming the riff to the first track, American Idiot, and I was like, this is the best sound ever. This is like the voice of God, what I'm hearing right now. This is amazing. And it ruined my entire life going forward. Like a monk, I dedicated my life to that sound. I kind of veered off into other stuff for a while, but basically, like, that's what did it. That's the trajectory of my life, and that is the thing that I care about. Now, that was my, like, true love, I think. I did have a first love, though, and it's a love that I have, like, to this day, that's sort of been alongside it. I wouldn't call it like a side love or anything. I feel like I love them pretty equally because it influences more of my day-to-day and just how I perceived the world. But comedy was my actual first love. And it started in early elementary school when I remember at my dad's house, there was a family computer and I would use it to look up things on YouTube. My first YouTube video that I watched was Charlie the Unicorn. That's not one of my comedy influences, but that is how I started finding other videos on YouTube. And from there, I started watching Sonic edits of Brian Regan and Dane Cook shows, which if you don't know what that is, maybe I'll play a clip of one right now.
You ever watch fishing on TV for like 15 minutes and then just go, boy, I better get a life. I'm watching fishing. I'm not even fishing, I'm watching fishing.
But it's basically just somebody who took a Sonic TV show and just overlaid Brian Regan or Dane Cook comedy bits and tried to like kind of make them sync up, but not really. It didn't really matter. The Sonic thing wasn't really what I cared about. I cared about the stand-up comedy that I was hearing, especially for Brian Regan. I would memorize a lot of his bits and I would recite them to my dad when we were hiking and stuff. I don't know if I ever had like a full show because I did usually watch it in like 5 to 10 minute bits, but I had quite a few bits memorized. Could that have aided my ability to memorize music? Probably not, because I don't even feel that good at memorizing it. But I do think that that had an effect on my like at least innate sense of comedic timing and delivery, because I would memorize all of it. Like I wouldn't just say the words, I would memorize the timing and like how it was said. I would hear when the people would laugh, and I would maybe make this indication of that was the funny part, like why was that funny? And that was just one of my favorite things to do. Before music, which I loved music at that time too, but stand-up comedy for sure. Brian Regan was probably my favorite. Dane Cook was second. Dane Cook was a little edgy. I liked Brian Regan because I could memorize all of his bits without getting in trouble with my parents, because he's famously a non-cursing comedian, which coincidence, so like I'm not a comedian per se, I'm a YouTube comedian, whatever that's supposed to mean, but I do try to facilitate comedy through the medium that I do, and that comedy often doesn't have cursing in it, and if it does, it's bleeped. I don't know if I did that because of Brian Regan, but honestly, I probably did. But yeah, in any like media that I make, at least when it comes to comedy, I won't curse. And I mean that, like even in song lyrics, like I have F words dropped. I think dropping the F word in like a metalcore or a singer-songwriter song is like the coolest thing ever. But in a bit, I don't know, it just doesn't add much, in my opinion, so I just choose not to do it. So those were the main ones when I was younger. George Carlin, of course, like young George Carlin. I mainly gravitated towards old George Carlin, which got a lot more, what's the word, crotchety. Maybe. I feel like young George Carlin was kind of like more of this hippie, like smooth talking character. Still like very sarcastic and everything, but he just got like mean in his old age. And I loved that. And other people too, like musical comedy was always a thing that I liked as a kid, but I don't like anymore as an adult. Like when I'm making music, I don't want there to be anything funny about it. Like I want it to purely be an expression of something that means something to me. And I don't want to make like some jokey song, you know? But when I was a kid, I listened to a lot of musical comedy, like Tenacious D, Bo Burnham, which Bo Burnham's good because he's not like full on comedy. There's usually something a little more to it. Probably more recently, Bill Burr. I feel like he's a classic. Like every 20-something-year-old guy loves Bill Burr. He's probably one of the people that made me see that you can do comedy in other mediums other than stand-up. Because I've always wanted to do stand-up, and I'm not like afraid of doing it. I would totally do an open mic night and just like write out like a couple minutes of material or something. But I don't know, I've just never had the drive to do that. But I have had the drive to make YouTube videos. And Bill Burr, I think, was one of those people that kind of showed me that you could just ramble online and have a show, though he had a whole career before he did that. But it still let me know that, like, oh, I enjoy listening to the show, and it's literally just a dude rambling. Yeah, so that's all I got for you now. I could think about it more, but that definitely is one of my, like, purposes, I feel. And that's just one of the things I've been obsessed with since I was a kid, alongside music. And it's kind of the reason why I started doing the show in the way that I do it. And that's what I like about the show, because it's a really easy way to synthesize both of my loves into just one thing that I do. And, you know, I'm a lucky guy to have found something like that. I am a very, very lucky guy. Hey, here's one from Warwick, friend of the channel and patron of the channel. I should probably let patron of the channels onto the practice log more often, shouldn't I? But, I don't know, like, I see a question, I get inspired to answer it, and it's hard for me to answer a question that I'm not inspired to answer. And it often doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the question. It's just a indefinable feeling that just happens where I just start talking. So don't take it personally. But Warwick, you said, how do you keep your nails strong and healthy? Do you take biotin or are you naturally blessed? I am naturally blessed. So, sorry, I don't have any information for you. It's kind of like when you ask insane guitar prodigy virtuosos, like, how did you get such a fast rust stroke? They don't know. They've had it since they were 2. That's actually a very specific example. That's how my teacher is. Because he has like an insane sick rust stroke that's like fast. And I remember asking him like, oh, what do you practice for that? He's like, I've never practiced rust stroke. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. I would be a terrible nail care advice giver because I don't do anything for my nails. And they almost never break except for just recently. Which actually means I'm pretty sure that they're weak. Because I do have relatively thin nails, but they just don't really wear down. Like, maybe I'm not playing hard enough, but I feel like I am. But I've never had an issue where my nails wear down, and my nails also grow pretty fast. And you saw how short my nails were just 5 days ago or so. I mean, look at that. I'm like pretty much back in business now. So they grow very fast. So maybe they do wear down. I just don't notice it. But no, I don't take biotin. I do take a multivitamin though. I take a gummy one, which I know aren't as potent, but they're fun to eat. So I'd prefer that. And I also take a vitamin C supplement. All right, we got one thing left to do today. Do you want to hear me play the Prelude to BWV 997? You do? Well, here it is. pretty good, right? Like, actually, I think that was pretty decent. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do I know? I'm only a grad student studying in school. And I know, believe it or not, with all the recent allegations, I was not miming for that. There's also no AI enhancement. I probably did run some processing on it. But other than that, that was all me, baby. All me, all the time. Fun fact, I've never mimed anything on this channel. Everything that you hear that has a video was captured on this microphone, playing it live, and I think everyone can tell. Sometimes people get a little suspicious though. I feel like I have some shorts clips that are like pretty crystal clean, that are a little like, what's going on here? I thought you're supposed to suck at guitar. But no, I don't suck at guitar. I am what you would call a high-level intermediate right now. And that doesn't sound like much. That's actually really good though. Okay. I think we can go ahead and wrap this one up here, but hopefully you enjoyed that. Of course, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Hey, guitar lessons. I wish I was offering them. I wish I was, and I know what you're thinking. Cameron, can't you just offer them? No, I can't. I can't, guys. I can't do it. But I know people who can do it. So if you want to send me an email, I will get to that eventually. And if you have sent me an email, I'm not ghosting you. I'm sorry, but just be patient. Of course, Rootin's Delight. Hey, and you know what? Just for you guys, this is the only time I'm going to mention this code in this video. Code SOAR for 15% off. That's S-O-R, in case you don't know how to spell SOAR. In which case, you know, what are you doing here, man? I'll have that going. I don't want to, like, pressure you into buying anything, but, like, maybe a week from today, it'll be done after that. Usually I don't do the discount code because I want it to just automatically apply. That ain't happening though. And so for the next week, if you use that discount code SOAR, you'll get 15% off, which is the same as the Christmas deal. And this is the only time I'm gonna mention it. So if you made it this far, you get that information. I think that pretty much covers everything. You know what, in second thought, I made that discount code for you to buy stuff in my store. If you were going to spend $60 on a sweatshirt, for example, like the Soarin sweatshirt, I would highly recommend that before you do that, you use that $60 on a classical guitar teacher, if that's something that you haven't done yet. If you already have a teacher and you got $60 to spare, then do it, I don't care. But get a teacher first. That's gonna be way more valuable, and I will be happy that you did that. I would rather you do that. So do that first, and then there is a discount code in case you want a sweatshirt or a shirt or whatever. But you know what? Buying a sweatshirt is a lot easier than going to a guitar lesson and following instructions. So maybe don't do that. I don't know. What do you want? An easy life, or do you want a fulfilling, knowledgeable life? Make that decision. I think you know what to do. All right. I'll see you in the next one.